Welcome back to the channel, DevTech 101, aka Black Mantle, as I discuss information technology, also known as IT. So, we're going to be getting into something today, a day in the life of a network administrator. And I'm speaking from experience as someone who's been, as I say, in the IT space for a very, very long time. I've managed to get my hands onto opportunities of doing networking work. I've actually set up networks from ground up, running the data cables, configuring the switches, uh, routing cables, patching cables, installing patch panels. I want to kind of give you a little bit of an insight from a personal perspective and just some advice for any of you out there that are currently in place trying to become a network administrator. Now, I've talked to a couple of people that I've known personally that are interested in networking, and I just wanted to kind of just throw something out here just to kind of give you all the opportunity to see what goes on. But when you look at a network administrator, I'm looking at the day-to-day duties. This is going to include a lot of troubleshooting and managing your switches and your routers, because that is what controls the network. That is how things move. Without the network, you have no company to run on. And so you have to definitely take that into consideration as well, because the network is the things that are behind the scenes, that are within the walls, across your head, over the top, that helps keep the business afloat. So when you think of a network administrator, there's a couple of things that you definitely need to keep in mind. You may imagine someone probably at some point being buried in cables. You may also think of someone who is just running around patching networks all day and things of that nature, but it's really more than that. And it's a mix of basically being able to monitor like networks and stuff like that. And so I got a couple of things I want to show you today on the channel. And the things I want to show you is a couple of monitoring tools. For example, I've used SolarWinds before. It's a pretty good tool. And I'm not endorsed by any of these companies that I'm showing you. I'm just basically merely giving you my opinion and thoughts and just the experience that I've went through in order to help me elevate and move within my career, both personally and professionally as well. Now, when you're looking at reviewing and monitoring dashboards, what you're looking for as far as in networks is you're looking at the way that things are being able to see if something's getting pinged correctly, or if what the uptime is like. And of course, we want the uptime to be almost 24/7, 365, and also looking at logs, checking out for outages and stuff like that. So if you take a look at what I'm looking at here, you'll see that we have this app. It's called SolarWinds, and you can definitely check this out. This is definitely cost money here, but I'm sure that you all would definitely be able to get the ground running with this specifically here. So let me go ahead and get you into this here. But if you take a look here at this, you will notice a couple of things. All right, I got some other tabs open I'm going to be showing today, so definitely keep that in mind. But looking at SolarWinds, they have a couple of different things going on here. But when you're really looking into this, what you want to look for if you're into the networking space is basically being able to look at this particular monitoring here that they have. And people have used like Orion and different things like that, but there's a couple of different other options, free source options out there, freeware is what I like to call it. But this helps you really see what you have going on within your network if you're looking to actually run something like this in a larger company per se. Now, when you have ticket systems and stuff like that, there are a couple of different ones out there. They have a ticketing system here as well on SolarWinds. So you can definitely take a look at that. And this is more circled around IT service management. So there's different like service desk things that you can look at here. They got a few trials, and you see it's $39 per month per technician, support for unlimited users. So you have that. Um, you also have another one called Fresh Service and Fresh Desk. Those are different ones as well. I've used these before. You got Manage Engine. All these are just different little options that's out here. And basically, network administrators are going to use these in order to help you being able to talk with internal people in your company to know what is going on. So those are just some of the morning routines there. Now, as we get more into a different perspective of this, looking at the midday tasks that you're normally likely to come into, there is a couple of different catches that I want you to be aware of. When you're configuring your router switches and firewalls, if you're looking to get some practice on that, just hop right on over to Amazon, or you can go over to eBay. I've used both of these before, and are actually pretty good. But I'm having you to go over to these two sites for a reason. If you don't want to be searching for different deals, to check out Amazon. It's there. It has a couple of different things in here that you can take a look at, but particularly computer networking. And when you type in computer networking, you're going to get different books and things like that. Definitely check those out at your leisure. But what I'm specifically looking for is I'm going to look for a Cisco switch. And those of you who are familiar with Cisco equipment, you know you have your managed and unmanaged. Your unmanaged is going to be more in homes in which you can just plug and play. You don't have to do any configuration. But if you're looking for something to get your feet wet into becoming much more of a system administrator, I would definitely say to get a small switch, at least a 24 port. And let's take a look. I look like I saw one right here. Let's take a look at this one, for example. So this one right here, okay, but that's not the one I'm looking for. Let's look at the Cisco switch 2960 24 port. Yeah, so this is more like it right here. So what you want to look for, looking for an old school catalyst. You can get in there, do the console commands, run through, and we're gonna kind of price a little cart here just so that you all can get your understanding here. So let's do this. So let me go ahead and put this over here. So looking at the Cisco stuff, I'm looking at specifically a Cisco Catalyst 2960 switch, 24 port, gigabyte Ethernet switch. And this is a managed switch. And what we're looking for in this particular model here is I'm going to add this to the cart. And I'm just putting something together just for any of you out there that are interested. And what we're going to be looking for is we got to definitely have some type of patching cable, RJ45 cable. So you definitely want to make sure you have those. You can get those just about anywhere. But if you don't, if you want to just get something here on Amazon, I think $5 is a little bit too expensive for one, but let's go ahead and throw this in here so we can actually see. So as you begin to get these here, I say you probably get less than 5 of these here. Just go ahead, price them up, get them added into there. I'm still going to get 5 just for the heck of it. And I'm just getting this while I have some things that I can connect to get together here. And then if you want to then get your console cable, a console cable is going to look more like this here. And this is this one is a USB one here. There are serial connections that you can get like this right here. These right here would work. So D89 to RJ45. If you have a computer that doesn't support that, which probably not likely at this time, you can definitely get this one right here, USB to RJ45, and a simple 6-foot would do. And this basically plugs in the side of the switch. So I'm going to go ahead and add one of those to the cart. So you're going to go all out. You want to go ahead and get, if you want, a patch panel. They got these in 24 ports, 12 ports, 48 ports. Just depends on what you're looking for. And I'm just putting this out here because some of you may want to go out and actually try and figure out how to do these here. Now, people, when I used to work on back in the day, we had Cat 5, Cat 5e. Right now, people are going to be using Cat 7, Cat 6. But if you want to be safe, just choose a Cat 6. Remember, you're just practicing. Get you a patch panel. Cable Matters makes pretty good brand. And then you got a 24 port there. Add to the cart. You want to get you some jacks here. If you're going to be doing any kind of wiring or putting these in the wall, you can get these right here. As far as that, let's take a look at our cart and see what we got so far. So we got our switch, which this is going to be a requirement here. You can't get around that. Then you're going to need to get your console cable. Those two will be the must-haves right there. Everything from the cables to the patch panel, you can worry about that at a later time if you want. This just helps you get the ball rolling. But if you want to practice terminating cables, you can do that. Network admins do that kind of stuff. I'm just going to delete these out of the cart just for a second, and I'm going to actually save this. I'm going to go down to 2 cables. Why? Because I want to be able to plug a device into this at some point. And then I want to look for a laptop. And I just want to look at a laptop where I can just practice my networking stuff on. I don't have to worry about anything and just leave it at that. You don't need anything super expensive, but definitely something with a USB port on it as well. So if you had to get one, I would say you can go with, right now we got about 16 gigs. So that'll be a pretty good option. And you can go with Lenovo or Dell. I really don't have a preference between the two, just as long as you're not paying too much money. You just want something pretty cheap to get your hands on so that you can move through. And I would go with, either Lenovo or Dell. All these other ones like done. Never heard of that before. Probably won't be getting something like that. But let's just say you just get something like this just to get the ball rolling, get everything going, and just make sure it has the USB ports on the side, which this one looks like it does. Add that to cart. And so we go ahead and get this added here. Let's take a look at our cart and see what we got. So we got a laptop that we can practice our labs on, that we can tear up if we need to, not paying too much for it. You have your console cable, which you plug the USB side into your laptop, and the RJ45 into the switch. You got as well a data cable that's going to go from your computer to whatever else you want, or if you just want to use that for some other second, third, or fourth computer, plug that into the switch, do some networking, and then your Cisco switch. And then another thing is you want to definitely go online and look at some Cisco commands, the basic Cisco routing commands. Get them from Cisco. Don't go to Chat GPT because you don't know what people are putting out there. But definitely go to the Cisco site, get the commands, and learn how to move those accordingly there. Okay. And just know that when you're troubleshooting and things like that, midday, you got problems going on. You got to know how to deploy to virtual local area networks, Wi-Fi upgrades, and things like that, and documenting your network changes that's taking place. I cannot tell you how convenient it is to walk into a network closet and see things are properly labeled. HP, in my opinion, does a pretty good job in labeling their type of equipment if you've ever been around it. In terms of other different places I've been, I would say people probably didn't label as much as they should. But a really good network admin is going to have a really good documented system in which they're going to label things accordingly and properly as you're going through that. So definitely take a look at the simple network diagrams. Now, Unify, If you're into the Unify equipment, Unify has a building tool that you can use, that you can go through, and it will allow you to update and go in and see your whole network setup. You can upload the floor plan of your facility. You can build out your network like that. Plug and play, pretty easy. I've used this before. It works wonders. So definitely want to keep that in mind as you're going through it. And what you can expect is you're going to get calls from people. The internet is down or slow. And sometimes it's could be a local thing, not necessarily a global thing. Diagnosing cable issues, patch panel ports. For example, when you're looking at your ports on your patch panel, terminating the cables, or at least terminate them on the client end. White, orange, orange, white, green, blue, green, white, brown, brown being the color code of the 8 individual cables that's there in the 4 pairs. So you definitely want to keep that in mind as well too. Sometimes you have to work with internet service providers outside of the company in order to get things to work. So you definitely have to keep that in mind as well too. And when you're looking in terms of collaborations, you're going to have to work with system administrators, making sure that the systems are clear and clean. By that time, you should be looking into your some type of certification if you want. I've always been a fan of experience more than certifications, but if you're into certs, this is the official Cisco Certified Networking Associate, CCNA cert. At the time of this video, 200 through 301 CCNA. This is about $300 exam. Takes you about through 120 minutes. This gives you all the tools you need to practice. If you are still a little bit scared, don't want to buy the equipment, you can check out the Cisco Packet Tracer. The Cisco Packet Tracer is a program that you can download onto your computer and actually learn how the networking aspect work by doing a drop and play kind of move with the Cisco Packet Tracer itself. And it tells you how to get started with that. You can definitely check that out on the Cisco site. So that is there for you. And you want to make sure as well that you work with security teams to make sure that anything that you're opening up and closing on the network is definitely secure. It fits to the needs of the organization. Definitely keep that in mind. And any kind of expansions that may be coming down the line, you may want to take a look at that, because those are going to be some really good things to take a look into. If you're not into Cisco, you have the Network Plus through CompTIA. They have the Network Plus. It is the same in my opinion. I don't like one over the other. It just depends on what work environment you're in. If you like Cisco stuff and the places that you want to work, quote unquote, are Cisco facilities, it may benefit you well to get a Cisco certification. If you're kind of open source and you want to be able to go from company to company and you just want to know the basics and knowing what networking is, check out the Network Plus. I think it's a pretty good cert. I've gotten certifications from CompTIA, and they have been good. I've enjoyed them, enjoyed the experience and everything. So keep that as well at the top of your list there. Now, you're looking at these skills and tools. I've talked about the Cisco Packet Traces, the CLI command line interface commands. You can take a look at those. That will be able to give you some insight in that regard. Network monitoring tools. I went over with you about the SolarWinds as well. There's other ones out there. Just basically go into your search engine and type in network monitoring tools. There's going to be a list of different ones out there. You can see that just by doing it in Google, it provides you with a whole list of different things here. Some of these I've heard of. These other ones, most of these I haven't heard of before because I never actually worked with them. But just being able to touch bases on the networking side. I mean, literally being up in the ceiling and running data cables with your bare hands, like 14 to 20 feet in the air, is some really good experience, people. I've done that before. I've enjoyed it because I actually got a chance to build out networks professionally in corporate America and also personally as well for companies too. So when you're able to do it on your own, you're going to learn a whole lot more. But this is just a basis just for you to get your feet wet and actually get out there and learn how this works, because it's very, very important. Okay. Even this little device I have right here, this Fluke Network and Teletone device, is what a lot of network admins use, and they actually prefer to use Fluke networks. This is just one that I've bought personally, have used in different projects as well. I've enjoyed it a lot. I mean, it works out pretty good. And the documentation systems, learn like basic ping commands, trace ERT commands, um, or sorry, your trace RT commands. Those are going to be good. But being a network admin isn't it's not just about the cables and the blinking beautiful lights that you see in a data center. There are more to it than that. Like even now getting into cloud architecture, you have network essentials through Amazon Web Services. If you can understand networking on the ground in the physical aspect, you may even like being able to learn it, especially if you're going into networking now. In my opinion, I think it would benefit you very well learning AWS or Azure, learning the networking aspect in cloud networking. I think will help it benefit your career a whole lot more, because data centers are getting smaller. So you're not going to be doing as much running cable as you think that you would. But I think it's a really good start for most of you out there that are new into IT, going into this space. Now, if the network goes down, everything stops, all eyes on you. You're going to have to figure out how to fix the things that need attention. So you must keep that in mind. So if you're thinking about a career in this particular career path in network administration, know that it is a challenge. It's not easy. Don't follow the money. Follow your passion if you're deeply interested in networking. So on the next episode, we're going to switch gears, and we're going to definitely switch gears into the cybersecurity part and what the day of a life could look like as a security analyst. So we'll definitely get into that at some point during the line. But people, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. Hopefully this video will help some of you out and help you target down exactly what you need to look for in the IT space. So like, listen, subscribe. Div Tech 101, aka Black Mantle. Look forward to bringing more content to you all soon.